The habit of speaking ill of others and gossiping. Do you speak ill of others? Do others speak ill of you? Well, this is a very common problem in today's people's lives, and we're now going to use our conscious reflection to be assessing whether this habit is an intelligent one, what do we gain from it, and what its consequences are. Especially, what can we do about it? Have you noticed how happy people just avoid talking badly about others? It seems that it's simply something that they don't feel like they have to do. Basically, we all know how damaging it is to be spending a lot of time to be speaking ill of others. It is considered to be a bad practice, isn't it? But many people continue to do it. You don't grow, you don't learn, you don't gain anything from it. Just puts us at stress and sadness, puts us at risk, because when it's found out that we're gossiping about other people, the consequences are disastrous. Many people believe they will never get caught gossiping about others, but practice shows that sooner or later that gossiper will be discovered, and of course the confrontation is never pleasant. So, why do we do that? Why do people speak ill of others? Where there are people, there is communication, and within the possibilities of communication there is both the desire to speak well and sometimes to speak badly. And to speak badly about other people in some cases can be considered gossiping. And the internet now amplifies the power of gossip with fake profiles, fake news. It's so easy to hide behind the screen and create these messages intentionally designed to create damage. Why does it happen? There are 6 main reasons. Number 1 is to feel part of a group. People gossip to feel like they belong to a certain group. They use speaking badly of others as a way to undermine rivals, to establish alliances. When 2 people speak ill of a third, they form this kind of a weird alliance. To gossip is to try to be on the inside, to be protected against the attacks of opponents. Because gossip is this weapon, both to attack, but it also can be used to be protected. We identify a common enemy. We speak ill of a third party. We create this identity. The enemy unites us. Number 2 is to feel superior. People who don't feel good about themselves can feel temporarily better when they judge others negatively. And one motivation in speaking bad of others is for these participants in the conversation to feel better about themselves, to feel better about their own insecurities. We project our insecurities onto others. We point out vices or problems of other people who are not part of our conversation. And we usually identify these flaws and failures in other people in order to disguise, to divert the focus from our own faults. Number 3, because of envy. Envy can be described as a sort of a jealousy for the success of other people. Overwhelmed by this sadness, envious people are led to have attitudes to ward off or to eliminate this bad feeling by gossiping. And one way to do this is to speak ill of the person who they are envious of. In an attempt to diminish their qualities, they are saying bad stuff about them. That is, people gossip to harm those whose popularity, talents, and lifestyle they envy. Number 4, to get out of boredom or as a cry for attention. When people fail to generate an interesting conversation, an interesting discussion based on knowledge, based on ideas, they can use gossip as a way to spark the interest of other people. A person comes to the center of attention temporarily when they have something to gossip about. You can see that, for example, in social networks as a way of getting attention. People just go and arrive talking bad stuff about other people. Have you ever noticed how, for example, in YouTube here, a video about somebody gossiping, saying bad stuff about celebrities is a very easy way to get attention. And number 5, for prejudice or intolerance to what is different. Because gossip rests on prejudice. It establishes an acceptable behavioral model and then attacks a different behavior. In order to avoid feeling guilty, people adapt this saying of well, you see, I am not prejudiced. And that almost always after that phrase comes this classic but, which is actually a way for them to start saying bad stuff. And number 6 is for lack of awareness and reflection. See, I'm not necessarily saying that all people who gossip are malicious, they're evil. No, a lot of time we end up falling into the trap of speaking badly about people without even noticing. However, gossiping unthinkingly can be quite dangerous. When we have a low level of consciousness, we don't reflect on our own words. We don't question the truth of the facts. We just repeat things. And unfortunately, this lack of clarity can even bring consequences that are devastating and irreparable to those who we're gossiping about. We need to be very careful about this because when we speak ill of others, we reveal much more about ourselves than about the people who are the targets of our gossip. The 3 major negative effects of gossip in your life. Number 1, other people will speak ill of you. One of the worst effects of gossip is that it comes back to bite you, because people around you may feel it is okay for you to deserve a little taste of your own medicine. If you're gossiping about people all the time, people may feel it is kind of okay to also gossip about your life. People who generally you share gossips with. Treat others the way you want to be treated. Number 2, gossip isolates you. People won't trust you. They will be hurt by your actions. They won't feel comfortable sharing details of their lives with you. Of course, people will continue talking to you. You're still gonna have some friends. But if you are known as the person who's always gossiping, people will just avoid having a real connection with you. Your friends will be talking to you, basic stuff, but they will hesitate before saying anything serious, especially if they know it's something that you're probably going to be gossiping about later. Co-workers and family members can also stop telling you things because they are afraid you will be spreading around the information. And number 3, gossip is not always true. By gossiping about something, we are just spreading rumors, and we also may be participating in the perpetuation of these lies. Learn to avoid gossip with these 6 principles. As the habit of speaking badly of others harms our lives, our relationships, and also harms the life of others, we also need to learn how to improve our communication and avoid this habit. So here are 6 principles to help you avoid gossiping. Number 1, learn the difference between useful communication and gossip. There are times in your life when it's genuinely useful to have information about the personal history of somebody. For example, if you're thinking about starting a business with this particular person or hiring them, if you are about to make a decision, it might be useful to have a little bit of background knowledge. But if there is no purpose behind the conversation and somebody starts to share intimate details of somebody else's life, or if you're in no position to do something about it, well, it's probably not a useful conversation. Number 2, stop before you start. If the conversation starts to turn into gossip, you can stop, you can resume your level of awareness. You don't need to be accusing the other person of gossiping, because then the other person may become a little bit defensive or even aggressive. You can just use a phrase such as, see, I'd rather not have this type of conversation. How about we talk about la la la? And then you can change the focus by shifting to some other meaningful conversation instead of going to that path. Number 3, look for humility and avoid pride. Because gossip makes us feel better about ourselves when we are relieved to remember the fact that other people also have problems. So we're going to stop comparing ourselves to other people. We can be humble. Remember that nobody's better than anybody. Don't let your ego and your pride feed the need to be comparing yourself with other people and putting other people down. Number 4, keep your speech positive. Use positive words as much as possible, especially when you're talking about other people. Because, see, when you say good things, it rarely leads to gossip. It's quite a good conversation to have. This positive speech will also encourage the people around you to do the same. Number 5, seek to improve the things that you can control. Don't waste your time talking badly about others. There is nothing that can be done about it. Dedicate your time, your thoughts, and your words to what you can control, which is your own life. Keep your focus on being the best possible version of yourself. Work on your insecurities without comparing yourself to other people, without wasting time on comments and observations about the characteristics and the behaviors of others. And number 6, avoid toxic relationships. Avoid people who are constantly speaking ill of others. Surround yourself with happy, optimistic people who see the positive side of life, not with people who bring everyone down, even themselves down. A person who speaks ill of others is probably the person who will speak ill of you to other people. Is this the kind of relationship you want to have? Maybe it's time to reevaluate the relationship you have. Now, increase your awareness and reflect on the quality of your communication. Think about how you would feel if you heard somebody saying negative things, hateful words about you. Speaking badly about other people translates into a focus on negativity and living life through a pessimistic and critical perspective. Your most precious and limited resource is time. Don't waste it getting involved with drama and arguments. Take time to take care of your integrity and good reputation by not participating in the habit of speaking badly of others. Avoid creating labels and caricatures that encourage you to speak ill of others. Remember that we all have complex stories. There's always two sides to a story, at least. And if you ever find these negative thoughts appearing in your mind towards somebody, remember, you need also to focus on the positive side. If someone encourages you to talk about negative things and gossip about somebody, try to think something good to say about the other person. Even if you don't find anything good to say, you always have the option to remain silent than speaking ill of others. Now, if you are a victim by situations where others are speaking ill of you, you have to know how to confront the situation and establish healthy limits. You don't have to be nervous and angry and lose your temper, no. You can just go and communicate with assertiveness. You can learn how to do this in our How to Say No communication training by going to arata.se/how to say no.